Welcome everybody. So good to have everybody back. I missed a week, but my dear friend Ayal kept the ball rolling, and we're in a very special time. We're going to integrate that together with the talk, and wishing you a beautiful summer, a lot of good health and happiness, and don't get burned on the beach too much.
Yes.
All right, let's go, Ayal.
Okay, so we are in the portion of Chukat. Chukat mean coming from the word chok. Chok mean law, but a law that is above mind.
That transcends.
Yeah,
Transcends intellect. Yeah.
Absolutely, statutes. And how the portion starts, Zot Chukat Torah. This is the law of the Torah. What does it mean that's the law of the Torah? Meaning that when you want to come in the gates of the Torah and trying to blend your life with the wisdom and will of God, you have to understand that you will reach certain intersections in your life that your mind will say one thing, but the Torah will say the other thing. Meaning that your ego, yourself, you pulling towards a certain direction, to take a certain decision, to act in a certain way in your life, but the Torah is going to tell you the opposite. And it's hard for you to comprehend, it's hard for you to accept. It's like then you will see how a friction starts between your will and God's will.
You get to a crossroads.
Absolutely.
You get to a crossroads and you don't know whether to go left or right. And the world is telling you go left, and God says go right.
Go right.
So now you have to make a decision.
And this portion is coming, meaning telling you those are the statutes.
Statutes.
How?
Statutes.
Statutes. Okay, you will say
It's
it
not
all the
easy
time.
for Moroccans. It's okay, we understand.
All right. Meaning that after what happened in portion of Shlach, when God is telling to Moses to send those 12 men, and they came back looking at the land through their own mind, through their own perspective, through their own understanding, and then Korach, when Korach is like the division between Korach and Moses, and both of those portions, there were no nullification of one's will. Korach and the 12 people, only 10 of them, they looked at what they saw through their own mind, and they made like a big mistake.
They look at the natural order of things. They saw what's on the ground, what's in front,
what would be logic to do,
what's going to be, and they don't think, well, there's something above that can really, God can help you and overcome all these obstacles. But no, the obstacles were too big. We can't do it.
So God is open, because this book of the Torah is like teaching, is guiding, is telling you, this is Chukat Torah. Those are the statutes.
We'll get the word.
The laws above mind, the things that you would not be able to comprehend or to accept, but this is the path.
You couldn't come to it with your own mind.
Absolutely. And we see that if this is the law of the Torah, why it's talking about Chukat Parah, about the red cow and everything that's happening with it. It's coming to tell us, like when we're looking through the eyes of Hasidut and Kabbalah, the cow is something that take burden on it, and the cow symbolizes the physicality, the mundane. And in order to overcome the mundane and the physicality and the trials we're going through, we need to bring this cow to whom? To Moses, Elecha. Meaning that usually when we're coming into crossroads in life, sometimes we just need to stop, to observe, to make kind of trying to go through a process of trying to reach brightness and clarity, and then to make a decision. But when you're going to make a decision in crossroads of your life, you're supposed to bring this idea to Moses, to the tzaddik.
To any mentor that you have.
Exactly.
Any mentor that a person
Today
has.
we don't have the tzaddik, like the last prophet was the Lubavitcher Rebbe. We don't have it. So what we're doing, we're bringing it to a mentor, to someone that will help us, to a guide, to a spiritual guide, to a Rebbe that really deals with those issues, that can guide us what really is the right thing to do. Because sometimes our mind telling us that's the way I'm supposed to act. That's what I'm supposed to do because that's the truth for me.
We need spiritual guidance. We need someone who's going to guide us and show us that this is the right path and this is where you're supposed to be and this is where you get your fulfillment as a Jew in this world.
And when you don't have the mentor, so the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, okay, how you can connect with me? It's through my articles, through my mimers, through my sichot. If
all
you
his
come
discourses, right? Everything.
Yes. So when you'll start learning,
and also hanging out with his people like me and Ayal, you got to hang out with us a little bit. You got. Hang out and see and chill with us and see what's going on and say some lachaims and
yes,
yeah, and definitely have it, to hang with the Hasidim a little bit.
So in the beginning of this portion, we're starting with the laws of impurity and purity. And those things sometimes we cannot understand. Maybe my mind can understand that if I'll eat a crab or a shrimp or a pig and then I'll become impure because this food becoming part of my blood.
It's a little bit of chazara, yeah.
Yeah, but still it's hard to understand why the pig or the crab or the shrimp is impure and the cow and the sheep is pure. Though this is the gate. When you want to come into the Torah and blend godliness into your life, you have to understand that God is trying to elevate
you
above your senses, because sometimes your senses can trick you. You see things through your own mind's eye. But according to the Torah, things are being done different. And we saw it with Korach, this division. Then we saw it with the messengers. And we saw how the sons of Israel comprehended. They saw the reality in the desert through their own logic. But they didn't ascend above their own mind. And the Torah is saying that the laws of impurity and purity is something that is above mind. And sometimes we just need to nullify ourselves and wait and go with the Torah. How we can see the logic in those statutes that sometimes it's hard to it's hard to understand them. This is through your own journey of life. When you're going into frictions, when you're going into situation like wrong relationships that you experience in your life, and you guided yourself in a certain way, but then you see that when you're going there and you're going down,
maybe you're touching the impurity of life, and instead of going towards the purity of life, it's sometimes a very fine line that you don't know if you're on this side or on that side. Sometimes, till unfortunately, it happens, and you see, what you know what? I stepped over to the other side, and that's not really where I want to be. So I gotta get the right direction and be a little more humble and go over to the other side.
Beautiful. And when you really come into peace, in a way, your ego with God, and you're not edging God over, the initial of ego, it's when through your experiences you're suddenly realizing, when you're coming to the scriptures and you see the right path, and slowly you're going through a process that you're allowing yourself to go into a battle, to be modest, to nullify yourself, and to understand really that really the wisdom of God is only love, and that's the way we're supposed to go to. So to go, and sometimes your mind will say different. We have to go through this journey. We have to go through this tension and go sometimes so low to realize that the way I navigated myself was into really a wrong place. And when you're coming back and you see the statutes and you see the will and the wisdom of God, suddenly you're realizing that the will of God is your will, but you will really never realize it till you didn't go down, meaning it's you have
so you hit rock bottom sometimes.
Bottom.
People can hit rock bottom, and then they realize the only way to go is up. But before you hit rock bottom, you got to have a good friend or a good companion or somebody that you can get good energy from, and that person can help you say, this is Joe, you're not going in a good direction. You gotta move because this is bringing you down, and you got to listen because you got to be a little humble, and you got to learn from everybody. You got to listen to good people and get good directions and be able to go to do what Hashem ultimately wants you to do in this world.
So in order to go through our trial and through this mundane and the nisyonot we have it with our physicality, like in daily life,
All the challenges.
the challenges, it's like your mind is directing you in one way. When you're going only through your mind, slowly your bond with God will become weaken and weaken until it will reach a place of death, coldness. And in order to bring back vitality and warmth, you need to bring yourself to Moses. What do you mean you need to bring yourself to Moses? To the tzaddik. And we just came out of Gimel Tammuz.
L'chaim for Gimel Tammuz. That the Rebbe always said that when he was speaking to people, he always said that tell that person that there's somebody in New York who can't sleep at night because of what's going on there. And that's the greatness of our Rebbe, that Ayal mentioned. It was celebrating his day, that we haven't seen him now for 23 years. And on one hand, it's a tremendous darkness for us, but on the other hand, we see it ascent. It's been a tremendous light because the Rebbe is still blessing us and giving us incredible blessings. And God willing, everybody should write a letter to the Rebbe. It's still not too late. Please write a letter to the Rebbe. Send it to the Ohel, 718-723-4444. And fax it in, or you can email it in, or go there if you're close. It's still, the vibes are going within 3 days of it, and you should get all the blessings because the Rebbe only gives blessings. And the Rebbe is incredible representative, and he's not sleeping still until everybody wakes up and comes to do it. L'chaim.
Amen. And it's very funny, if we're looking at it, there's this hidden statutes with this whole thing of Chabad with the Rebbe, because there's a phrase in the Talmud, a verse that says, Tzadikim bemotam kurim chaim, meaning sages within their death, they're alive.
They're called living.
They call the living, but this is a contradiction. It's like a law. Like, what do you mean? If he died, what do you mean he's alive? So how we can comprehend that? But the Hasidim, his follower, took it like as a Mishnah, as like affirmation to walk with, that it's all about you need to ascend above your mind.
This is the battle cry.
Exactly.
This is it. We're going with it.
Because the mind can tell you like that and like that, but when you connect with the will, with the belief, and if it says that in the Talmud that tzaddikim in their death they're called alive, and you cannot understand it through your mind, but if you look really at reality, after 30 years, what happened? Like, the Rebbe passed away, and then we have as well in Gimel Tammuz another occasion that in Gimel Tammuz the former Rebbe came out of prison. So it's like a redemption, Yom HaGeulah. So we're celebrating, but it's interesting that when you look at reality, you're seeing that this whole factory, I don't know how to call it, this whole like beautiful thing that the Rebbe established.
His whole army.
His whole army is just growing,
Rebbe's army,
growing and growing. So if there was death in this place, so there were no growth. But you see in the test of reality that you gave a bit time, you're going through a journey, then you see, realizing suddenly that the Torah speaks the truth and not what I think or perceive through my mind. So as we're going into the portion of the week, after the story of the cow and the impurity, you want to say something?
Yeah, just one thing to mention about that. I think that to understand, to put it in real terms, the difference between physical death and spiritual death, that the physical death is something that everybody can relate to, because you see that the person stops breathing and the body goes into the ground. But spiritual death is something that doesn't happen to tzaddikim. It doesn't happen to righteous people, because they are the ones who are giving life to everybody. They're giving the life to everybody that we can have spiritual life. And therefore, by nurturing our spiritual life, so therefore their nurture is that they're receiving the energy together from us because of the fact that there are Moses in our generation, and that we get from Moses, and then we also give to Moses, and it's a reciprocal relationship. And with God's help, we should see that that's why we know Hilula, we know by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we know that the greatness, and you go to Meron, you feel he's very alive. Every time you go to Meron, it's incredible energy what's going on there. Like, nobody would say this is like a cemetery. Nobody would say it's like a place of death. Say on the contrary, this is a place of life, place of spirit, of energy, and with God's help.
And really, as you talk, I'm saying, and how you can really feel alive and being connected to Moshe. Because when you be connected to Moshe, you can change really places of death into life, darkness into light, bitterness into sweetness, negativity into positivity. It depends on your choice, how you decide to look at life. Do I connect into my will, to faith, to believe that if the Torah said that's the way, so I'm really putting aside my senses, the way I perceive life, and I choose a certain direction. And when you choose it, you will start seeing it and you will start feeling it. So into the portion of the week, then the sons of Israel move into the desert, and then like Miriam is dying. And then when Miriam died, the well is disappearing, the water disappears. And then the sons of the Israelites again complains. They're coming to Moshe and Aaron and
Jewish
start
people
like,
never stop complaining.
they received water in the desert. Why it's not mineral water? We always have something.
We don't want salami. We want steaks, right?
Yeah,
we want some real food.
Unbelievable. And then God is being patient, regardless what happened in the past portion with the 12 messengers, and with Korach, and the fact that they complained about the man coming from the sky, the bread that came from the sky.
Heaven,
they were like from heaven. God is telling to Moses, take the stick, your mateh. How you say mateh?
Your stick.
Your stick. Take your stick and talk to the rock. Talk to the rock. What Moses did, he took the stick and he smashed the rock.
Hit the rock.
Hit the rock, smashing. Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Al likes to smash. Right?
He smashed the rock like 2 times, and then lots of water came. But then something happened. They, in a way, I don't say, the emlo kichu shem shamayim barabim. How you would say that in English?
That he didn't sanctify God's name in public.
Exactly. Why? Because God say, talk to the rock. Don't hit the rock. And from here we can understand something. Our bodies, we are all like rocks, and in order to bring something good, like out of a person, don't hit him.
Probably hug him
Talking.
is much better.
Even if you go through like severe frictions, talk to each other. Don't hit each other, because this is not the way. God's way is to talk to, not to hit someone. And further into the portion, then the next thing that happening is the death of Aaron as well, and that was really like something very sensitive. The Israelites like crying his death for 30 days, not like even Moses, and Moses is by the word of God telling to Elazar his son, let's go Hor Har. It's the mountain where Aaron died, and he died in beautiful death in a kiss, and Moses is really jealousing in this kind of death.
A man of peace and love.
A man of peace and love, and that's the way to be one of his followers. The disciple is to chase peace,
pursue
peace and love, and this is
and
really
love and bring people close to the Torah.
And this is really our way. This is really our path. That's why we see as well that God is always giving us another opportunity and another opportunity and another opportunity to find the God within us. But in order to find godliness within us, then the coming chapter of the portion, we're seeing that Moses is sending angels from Kadesh to Melech Edom. What does it say in Kabbalah and like Hasidut about it. What happened there? Moses is sending angels because they didn't have phones there then, and they were all like communicating through angels.
No texting back
No,
then.
no faxes. So he sent to King Edom and say, even though your brother Israel, meaning your brother Israel, wants to move through your land, don't worry. We wouldn't go through your fields. We wouldn't go right or left. We will go in the path of God through your country. And the king of Edom is refusing, and then the sons of Israel need to do a whole like turn to come into Israel from another side, and then again they're like complaining and like crying and like to God, like, how come we need to do all this path? And then God is going like really berserk on them, and he sends the snakes that biting them, and the snake that, if you get bitten by a snake, brings death, but the same snake we see brings life as well. And before we'll try to explain that, let's go back to Kadesh, that Moses is sending angels from Kadesh to King of Edom. According to Hasidut and Kabbalah, what it's trying to tell us, that each and every one of us have the spark of Moses within us. We're sending messages from that purity, from that beautiful light, pure place, to our mind that comes through like thoughts within us to King of Edom. Who is King of Edom? King of Edom is within us. It's the other side of the force. It's the dark side. It's the evil inclination. The evil inclination that basically do not pursue peace or love. He finds how to
bring you down,
how to create like pain and like negativity, and he comes from consciousness of victim, and you're a victim of that, and you're supposed to receive that, and like becoming like, I will do that in order to, but this is not pursue like peace and love. So we sending messages to King of Edom, telling him, please let us pass. But King of Edom saying, no, I wouldn't let you go through my land, only through my land. If you want to come into my land, it's through according to my own demands. Meaning, King of Edom, the evil inclination, wants to catch the Israelites in his
in any way.
In any way
he can.
But what Moses is telling him, no, we will go along the king's highway and will not turn to the right or to the left, meaning in our mind, in our path, we wouldn't go astray, we wouldn't look right or left, we will go
follow the middle
the middle path. We will follow the way of the king, God's way. We will never veer to the right or to the left. And that's why King of Edom, we can see suddenly refusing, because we have something deeper than that.
Right, don't be an extremist, don't be a radical person.
Exactly.
Maimonides said, follow the middle path. That's the best way.
So then when they're like complaining, oh, we need to do a long way, then God is sending the snakes in Israel on the Israelites, and who's got bitten will die. But then God giving the cure through the snake. If we're going through the numerology of a snake in Hebrew, Nachash, it's 358. The same numerology of Mashiach. Mashiach as well is 358. So we see within one thing, there's also death,
one extreme to
and
the
life.
other.
Two extreme, like it's contradict. And again, statutes, we cannot comprehend it in our mind, but again, who told you you're supposed to go through your way? Who told you your way is the right way? So many times a person will identify with himself only through the tension that is go and friction in his life, that he will realize that the way of the Torah is the right way, and the way of the Torah, that's your own right will. And how one thing that is death, a snake that is death, can turn as well to life. And that's how it says in the scriptures. How Moses healed the Israelites, he created a snake made out of copper and put it on a stick. And when the Israelites will look into the snake, there will be alive, and if not, they will be damaged. What does it mean? It means when they hebitu,
when they gazed,
abata, when they gazed, but it's more their sight. When their sight was, and their intention was,
when
to serve.
their outlook was in that way, so then they connected to life, or they connected to the opposite of life.
And what kind of work they needed to do in their heart, meaning till the snakes came. Why? Because they went through according to their interest, according to what they saw, according to what ego wants, according to their affirmation and insights. But there is God way, there's the loving way of God, meaning that in their heart they had to do like mahapach. What is mahapach?
Okay, they had completely turned it over.
They need to completely turn it over, meaning that if my heart before said that, now they realized in their intention, we're going to say something completely different, saying that Moses is truth and the God way is the truth, meaning we decided within us, our intention is not to serve our interest, our ego interest, but to serve God's will, because we can see that we're doing wrong. And when they did that, when the inner intention was for that, then God turned death to life, because their intention was good. They changed something within them. They changed darkness to light, bitterness to sweet.
They redeemed themselves.
They redeemed themselves. And to reach that, in order for God to change death to life, they had to go above the source of life itself, to the essence of God, and over there to connect with the light and to do this change. And that's how everything turned to good. So
and
hopefully,
God willing, it will continue to be that way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And when we saw that the journey of life, they is keeping on with their through their journeys, Vaisau, and we see that through their journeys they came to singing. Don't worry, we're going through journeys in life, and those journeys will bring us to sing. What they sang only when they crossed the sea,
right.
and only we're coming. Sorry, and we only when with the Shirat HaBe'er. Why they sang only in those two times? The Lubavitcher Rebbe is saying, because in all the miracles that God did to the Israelites, they had to do something so the miracle would happen. Here, when they
had to
see
make a vessel for it.
Exactly.
They had to make a vessel, because you can't have a blessing come down unless you're a receptacle for it and you can receive it, and then the blessing will come in you, and then you'll be able to find that level of redemption within you.
So they saw that in this, when they sang to the well of Miriam, like suddenly the well put out like bodies and things like that, because God made a miracle that the mountain, when the Amorites were like trying to, le'rov, they wanted to ambush the Israelites and to kill them by thousands. God made a miracle that one side of a cliff came to the other side, and they got squashed, and they didn't see it, but suddenly the well brought those bodies and blood, and they saw that, so they will start singing to God about how
They
God
God, yes.
They praised God to see, they suddenly realized the divine providence, how God loved them and taking care of them, and how much God wants each and every one of us to redeem himself, to find this beautiful godly potential within him, to connect to the Moses within him, and then he will feel the light and love of life. But this is only through our journeys. We have to go far. Rock bottom?
We have to sometimes we don't have to. We sometimes hit rock bottom, but before that, we start going down. We have to know that we only go down on the condition to go up, because we need to go elevate ourselves back up.
So to wrap it up, why they sang only 2 times? Because when the sea splitted, and with this well, they saw that they didn't need to do anything, any vessel, and God still made miracles. So they go through their journeys, and then they're reaching the king of Sichon, Melech HaEmori, and Og Melech HaBashan. Those two were like big giants.
Heavy hitters.
Like, wow, like you can imagine
You
go
don't
to
get
Lord
into a
of the
wrestling
Rings
match
and
with
yeah,
them.
no way.
It's like me and Ayal doing
Yeah, I don't show you now, so I'm like down. He's like, I put him down sometimes, just like being like
right,
modest now.
easy, no problem.
So it says in Kabbalah, who is Melech Sichon? Sichon, it's from the word siach. Siach in the mind. We constantly in contemplations, interpretations, assumptions. In Kabbalah, it's the king of the mind, the evil inclination that takes you and to fight against the
Playing mind games with
you and the negativity of the mind. And Moses was afraid that he wouldn't be able to conquer those two kings as well within ourselves. And God tell him, don't worry. If you will go with my statutes as well, things that you do not understand, and if you will blend and you allow the wisdom of the Torah to seep in, and you will go with it, and you will allow yourself, basically each and every one of us, to come to a lesson in Hasidut, to merge with the Tanya, to find myself, how I'm blending with this beautiful wisdom, how I can overcome my own mind, my own negativity. And Moses was afraid that he wouldn't be able to go through those kings, and God show him that, don't worry, I will give those two kings in your hands. And the same idea follows through the whole portion. You want to overcome your evil inclination? Connect to Moses.
Be subservient to Moses. Be subservient to him.
That's a beautiful word.
And by being subservient to him, then your agenda becomes what his agenda is. And his agenda becomes your agenda, and therefore life becomes very pretty together.
And what the agenda of Moses? To bring you into the redemption, to help you to redeem yourself, to come into this Geula. And that after all those journeys, then where the sons of Israel parked? They parked in the desert of Moab. Let's see how it says in the scriptures. I hope I'll go for it, okay? The children of Israel traveled and camped in the plains of Moab, across the Jordan near Jericho. What is across the Jordan near Jericho? The sons of Israel reached
the Holy Land.
The Holy Land. What is Jordan of Jericho? They saw the redemption just on the other side of the river.
Right.
What is Jordan Jericho? Jericho means from reach, scent. And scents relate to Messiah, to the Mashiach, to the redemption. So after all our journey,
he's
don't worry.
He's going to have the scent of smell. He's going to be able to smell.
Exactly. He's going to be able to smell
us
and
us
to
out.
see
we got big problems.
Yeah, exactly. Each and every one of us what he needs to fix, and we have things to work on. Each and every one of us received his thing to work with, and between us we need to follow Aaron's way, to encourage each other, and to pursue peace and love, and to understand that each and every one of us receives something to deal, to fix, to correct, to refine, in order to find himself across the river, just looking, gazing, feeling that the redemption is here. And I can already sense it.
I have the formula already. I have the formula how to get there, but I just have to humble myself a little bit. A little humility.
Absolutely.
We can cross over.
Still journeys to come in the next portion. See you in the next portion.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everybody.
Shalom,
you got a beautiful summer ahead of you, July, August. Come visit us, please. Ascent.
In the mountains. Where are you going
to
do?
Book a ticket.
What are you going to do? Yeah,
and
your
hang out with us
holiday.
in Tzfat, Klezmer Festival coming. Everything good. God bless you all.
Spring, mountain, beautiful people, beautiful energy. See you in the next portion.